recent years, there's been a wave of games, inspired by games of old, such as the ones that started it all. id Software, Wolfenstein, a Nazi killer. While not being the first FPS, it's still seen as the first early idea of what a first-person shooter should be. Doom, a demon shooter, the game that shocked the world, filled with adrenaline, controversy, and dark humor. If you took Evil Dead's idea, put it in an alien setting with a Metal Hits mixtape as the soundtrack, you have Doom. If Doom was an album, it'd be platinum. Heretic, a dark fantasy, a team-up between id Software and Raven Software being the fantasy version of Doom. Quake, where medieval and technology clash. Quake was there when id started with a group of people who wanted to make games, to the end of a fallen empire of what used to be two minds of one but now separated. Even though this industrial world was the last game they worked on together, it has cemented into the world of gaming forever. As id Software set what FPS should be, 3D Realms became the Megadeth to id Software's Metallica. Where id Software made games that had a dark humor and more serious themes, 3D Realms went for more action hero adult humor. Duke Nukem 3D, a bros FPS. While Doom is dark and gritty shooter with the main character being the silent, angry marine type, 3D Realms' Duke was more of a Johnny Bravo loudmouth action hero, the complete flip side of Doom. And Shadow Warrior, kung fu sword slashing. Being a Japanese action movie-like game with a very sexual humor-based character Lo Wang, continuing the same ideas of Duke Nukem. There's also Blood, gothic horror shooter. While Blood was being worked on by Q Studios and under 3D Realms, it was later sold to Monolith. But that doesn't stop it from being one of the best of the build games of that time. It makes the best of both worlds of Doom's dark themes and Duke's somewhat silliness, but also standing out as one of its own. These games started and perfected the genre of FPS, but as time passed, the second wave of FPS was being made. You had games like Deus Ex and Half-Life, changing the way story in video games can be told, even though Deus Ex took place in a cyberpunk world and Half-Life took place in New Mexico. Serious Sam and Painkiller taking more of a fill the room with enemies and becoming more of a bloodbath, sometimes even locking the player in the rooms until he was done. But a few games would change the way FPS would be made and become the standard. As there's always the good change, sadly there's also the bad and the ugly. There's Half-Life being the good, changing the way story is told and inspiring many games in the future. Maybe story in a game isn't so bad after all. There's also Halo being the bad. While it started off as a great way to mix gameplay and story, it slowly started to become a marketing tool and seemed to mix with the rest of the mainstream shooters as time went on. And there's Call of Duty being the ugly. What started off as a series of war games has become the same gameplay every year, season pass, overpriced bullshit game of the FPS genre, becoming the sad idea of what a standard FPS should be. But what about those who started it all? Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Developed by Grey Matter Interactive and published by Activision, a reboot/remake to the Wolf 3D series overseen by id Software. The game did very well and was seen as the best Wolfenstein game at that time, though afterwards Grey Matter merged with Treyarch, the same studio that now works on the Call of Duty Black Ops series. Doom 3, developed by id Software and published by, yet again, Activision. To this day, this game has mixed feelings with the Doom community. Some love it for its new take on the series, and some hate it for that exact reason. While not a tech demo as Quake would become, as Doom 3 featured a story, the game was more a survival horror than Doom's action shooter that it was once known for, which put off a lot of Doom fans. The Black Album of id games. Hexen 2, developed by Raven Software and published by id Software and distributed by, you guessed it, Activision. Well, from what I've heard, Hexen 2 isn't a bad game per se, it didn't sell well, but this wasn't the end for Raven, as they would go on to make more games like Heretic 2, Soldier of Fortune, Star Wars games, and would often develop games under Activision. Quake, all of them. Quake 2 was developed by id Software and published by... yeah, you already know. Quake 2 is, well, also very different from the original, ditching Lovecraftian horror for a sci-fi style. While I would say this is like Doom 3, Quake wasn't like Doom in that way. as Quake only had one game before changing styles. Though Quake 2 was supposed to be a new IP entirely. The original was supposed to be called Load, so I guess you could say it's the Load of id games? I really need to stop comparing id games to Metallica albums. It kind of became accepted that Quake 2 was now what Quake is. And then of course there's Quake 3 that ditched the single player and stuck with the deathmatching. There's also Quake 4, but that's too far into the future. Duke Nukem Forever. Blood 2, developed by Monolith and published by GT Interactive. While there's a lot to unpack for this game that I really don't have time for. Basically, Blood 2 promised a lot of things, and the publisher was like, hey, can you get this game out in like a year? That shouldn't be a problem, right? It didn't go well. Shadow Warrior, developed by no one because 3D Realms was too busy with another game that I can't think of at this moment. Don't worry, they'll come up again. As the people who made the genre had fallen, some out of jobs and some had to work for the new standards set in by publishers. As time went on, only a few titles here and there changed the way of FPS, like Rack, Devil's Daggers, Intrude, and Strafe would be games that called back to the old style of FPS, being called retro FPS. As time passed, a new blood was brewing. While a few of these games are made by different groups, one thing is clear. They define and are retro FPS. And with this new breed of FPS, just like its original roots, a second wave is coming. And one of those games is Hulshult. In 2019, a trailer for the upcoming game released, and needless to say, I was pretty excited to get my hands on this game. From the trailers, it reminded me of Painkiller and Quake combined. The first time I got to play the game was on the 15th of May. Now, I would talk about my first time playing the demo, but that version of the demo doesn't exist anymore. See, T19 keeps updating the demo, which you can get here, so I've replayed the game several times with different versions. So I'm going to kind of mix my experiences together and focus on the most recent updated version of the demo, which is, according to the website, demo 0.612n. So now the game has a tutorial area that teaches you the game mechanics, which is nice. Though if you already played the demo before, you can just go over here, skip the whole area, and jump right into the first level. But let's talk about this tutorial area. Is it good? Most tutorials treat you like you've never played a game before, so it just feels like a task and boring to get through. Or they're like the Cuphead tutorial, the Dark Souls of tutorials. Dash button. Okay, let me try it. Are you fucking... Come on! I was just there! God damn it! Anyways, the tutorial in Hulshult is very nice actually. First, it teaches you the dual katanas in the game. These are the melee weapons of the game. You can do 3 slashes with 1 click, which is the basic attack. The special attack is pulling a Darth Maul and putting the swords together to use as a spear. After the cooldown ends, you can go back to throwing them. They're cool and fun to use from time to time. After breaking some boxes, you go into the new room that teaches you jumping and going up ladders, very basic stuff. Then you're met with the dash mechanic. If you don't know what dashing is, then Google it. Dashing can be used to move out of the way of an enemy attack, get up to places of loot, or just get through levels faster. This effect also has a cooldown like the katana, so you can't spam it, but it doesn't take too long. After failing the jump, getting it the second time, opening some metal doors, you're met with the pistols and the bullet time mechanic. Let's start with the dual pistols. They're based on... You know what? Put what you think it is in the comments below, and if you get it right, then congratulations. These will be your default guns for the rest of the demo. Not bad, they have a 12-round clip each, and they're better than most FPS starter pistols, though there's 2 of them, so it makes sense. It's got a nice fire rate and it doesn't really have recoil to them. You can reload, which is a little odd for retro FPS, but not really a deal breaker to be honest, unless you really like the idea of a world where a gun has 200 ammo and never needs to reload. Weird. So bullet time. This was the one mechanic most people were confused by, as there's never been a retro FPS game to have bullet time. Unless you count Max Payne, which will make me go, what the f? Bullet time adds a nice flavor to this game. It lasts long enough to plan and kill any enemy you see, but not too long to take you out of the moment and feel like you're standing there waiting to make your next move. You can try and get a body shot, but it's better to aim for the head since it always triggers on headshot. Also, there's a setting to turn off bullet time if you don't really like it, so it's up to you. After shooting the dummies and seeing everything you need to see, the game shows you a room saying, "This portal will take you to hell. Good luck, Demon Hunter." You know, I'm starting to think that the start of a retro FPS development is how we can make it so the title and the name of the player are connected. You got Doom Guy, Duke. This joke really didn't work well. After training, you drop into the first level of the demo. As soon as the level started, the first time I played, I shot the skull that turned out to be a secret. Got a couple extra bullets, so that's nice. After that, I went up to the stairs to meet the first enemy in the game. Now, as of writing this, I don't know if the demons have names, but this one reminds me of the gore fasts from Killing Floor, but less dickish. These swordsmen run and swing their large bladed arm at you to try and kill you. They're like a basic enemy, but them in a group can be a pain in the ass. It only takes a few bullets to kill one, or you could throw your swords at them or do a sword attack. Guns or throwing swords work best to avoid taking damage though. After taking care of the demons, I entered the large room to find another secret room with more bullets. You can also break crates and vases to try your luck at getting ammo. As I was searching around the room, I went downstairs to find what looks to be a storage room, filled with boxes, found some more ammo, and took care of the minor health problem I had. I then went upstairs to meet another bladed demon who stood there in the way of 2 doorways. I shot him dead and went to the left. This is where I can talk about the other enemy that I forgot to talk about a few minutes ago. This demon carries a gun and a backpack, which I think is filled with ammo. This demon only fires once before running to a new position to reload and fire again. In early versions of the game, the bullets would be so fast, you had to listen for the cocking of the gun just to know when to dash out of the way. In newer versions though, the bullets have a red tracing to make it easier to see. I think they should make it so the red tracing isn't there on Nightmare difficulty to give players a real challenge, but that's just me. As I was shooting him, I saw gates to the other room. After killing the rifle demon, I went to the gated room to meet another bladed and rifle demon. Did I mention the amount of jibs and blood this game has? I'd seen a room above me that I tried to get into until I noticed that, oh wait, there's bars to keep me out. I remembered from a previous playthrough that you have to pull this torch to open it. Picking up the item acted as an extra ammo pouch, giving me the ability to carry 40 more bullets. I'd later search around this tomb to find a room with 2 gunner demons and a switch behind the gate. I took down the 2 demons to pull the switch that opened a door that I didn't even know was closed, so that's cool. I went to the newly opened door to find a room filled with demons, but within this room had a window to show a pump shotgun. I rushed to get the shotgun, which was on a golden platform, which I thought was gonna crush me or something the first time playing, but it didn't. The pump shotgun holds 7 shells and can go up to 50. The only way I can describe how the shotgun makes me feel is, well, it gives me the same feelings I have when seeing Ryan Gosling in the amazing movie that is Drive, shooting a guy with a pump shotgun. Impactful. After grabbing the shotgun, I head back into the large room to dash on top of a platform that gives me some armor. Then dashing again to another platform to get to the surface. As I reach the final steps, seeing the gloomy sky and mossy area that I was in, taking in my new surroundings. Though I did go John Woo on some demon asses before I took in the surroundings. Anyways, back to the environment. It has a very sludgy, medieval grit to it. Like a Candlemass or Alice in Chains song could play in the background and would fit the world. Though I don't really know what's up with the body bag tree we got going on here, but it works for me. The layout of the level is very simple and easy. Really good for a demo or even a starter level at that. When you get to the tree, you can go left or right. I took right most of the time, which led me to a graveyard-like area. In front is a tombstone that says RIP. This unlocks a hidden room in the body tree area that gives you a double-barrel shotgun, a shotgun backpack to carry more shells, and an item that looks like a stim pack that raises your health from 100 to 120. One thing that I'm not too sure on, though, is how to unlock it. The way that I found this secret was going up to the tombstone and typing RIP on my keyboard. When I did that, it unlocked the secret, so if it is by typing, then congrats to the devs because I love secrets like that. Though if it's not typing into the keyboard and you're just supposed to stand there, well, damn, I got my hopes up. RIP. I typed in ripped into my computer. No! Did typing RIP really open something? Oh my god. I typed in RIP. I was like, that's surely not gonna do anything. Did it really just open this area? RIP. Wow. Editor's note, yeah, you just stand there. Big sad. To be fair, a lot of the secrets in this demo are really hard to find or hard to figure out how to get to. At least for me. Like this bit in the later part of the level where I have to jump on top of a lever, then jump again when doing a dash in midair, but I have to aim it right. Otherwise, I hit the wall or I have problems getting on the lever in the first place. So after getting the shotgun, I got back to the graveyard area to head down in the underground, though this time it had more of the pipe system, as if the swamp water is getting piped to different parts of this area. Also in this underground area are little bricked tables with coffins on them. I feel like this graveyard was taken over by demons or a cult. I say cult with the amount of candles that are in this one hallway. Like, Jesus Christ, this cult has a discount on candles from Bath and Body Works. Going down the hall leads to a room with a red cross and a couple more demons to kill, with a little red book with an upside down cross on it. You can pick this up for later use, though I'm confused, so if you take a cross and put it on the ceiling, isn't it always going to be upside down from one side but upright like it's supposed to be from the other? I'm not knocking the devs here. I just think it would be funny to see that in a church. Like, you look up at the ceiling, it's like, it's all peaceful. And then you look around on the other side, it's like, oh my god! You go up to this ladder to a mossy rocked room with some ammo and health. You find a wall to open which leads to the left area that we didn't go to earlier. The left area has a metal platform with the lever I also talked about earlier, which leads underground, but before we can go down there, we need to explore a little more. I head over to a room with a nice plant-looking thing, a door that I couldn't open, and some stairs leading down to a room full of demons. I go over to the other side, placing the book down. I don't know if this book controls the lift system, but I know it doesn't open the door up there. I go back up and get on the platform, pulling the switch to send me further down this hell. We reach the bottom floor to a nicely lit room and boarded up walls that I guess don't go anywhere. In front of me are some steps that I take to a hallway with a few demons waiting for me. I go over to a very open room with no bridge, which is a really big design flaw on the people who built this underground tombs, but it's okay since we can just dash onto the other platform to grab some shells for my shotgun. You can also jump into the water, which the swimming in this demo is fine. I don't really like swimming in games because it always feels awkward since you're normally slow when in water. But our character must be Park Shark or something because he can swim in the water so fast. It's like if you took Aquaman and the Flash and no, not that Aquaman. I'm talking about this Aquaman. You know what? Just basically he's the Flash in water, you know? Which is very unrealistic. Please, devs, don't change this. Going through water this fast is way better. Please don't change it, please. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. You go into the water pit here, and you can find a little secret passageway to find another backpack for your pistols, which is cool. Go up this ladder and... Oh, I forgot to talk about this missing texture here. Hopefully this gets fixed in the final version of the demo or game, but it's not game-breaking. I go back to the hallway to go into this nice looking area with bridges going different ways. Though both pathways are gated off, I just really like rooms like this one, you know, that just like have that nice architecture. Anyways, I also keep shooting faces because I think it's going to open a secret or something because of earlier. So to get around the lock gates, I hop into the water trying to find the right passage to go into. I find the right one and started breaking boxes, and also there's another pump shotgun here. I'm not too sure why. Maybe they plan on adding a pistol start kind of thing like Doom, or maybe it's just there in case players forgot to grab the one in the first level. Anyways, more ammo. I get the gates open, head down to the hall, and here is where I learned that I'm bad at this game. Where do I even start with this guy? He's basically if the bladed demon was turned into a Hulk and was given an extra sword to kill you with. He's a pain in the ass if you suck at dashing, and if you mess up too many times, you will die. If this is Doom rules, then it takes a ton of pistol ammo to kill him, 8 shots with a pump shotgun, and 4 with a double barrel shotgun. You're probably saying, well, why not compare him to the Baron of Hell from Doom? And yeah, sure, I could treat him like that, comparing him a demon that has 2 swords just rushing at you, to a demon that walks very slowly and shoots green fireballs out of his hands. Yeah, I can compare those two. So after I ran away, I jumped back into the water, thinking it was a good way to lose him. Turns out he just went back to where he was. After shooting him and the rest of his goons, I go to flip the switches. I head over to the right side and you're met with this candle room, which, funny enough, they've fixed a lot of the candles in this room. One of the times I played the demo, some of them were floating, so it's good to know they're fixing little things here and there. After pressing all the candles to see if they do anything, I head down the stairs and I'm greeted with a big open room filled with spiders. My favorite. Hey, at least they're not as big as the ones in Herat. Which... Fucking hell. The spiders are small and kind of act like the rats from Dusk, so they're not bad per se, just mildly annoying. Also, their blood is green, so it might be acid, so be sure not to step on it. Actually, this was written in the script just to kind of cut away, you know, break the fourth wall here. No, their acid is not, or their blood is not acid, I'm sure, so you're fine there. Anyways, back to the script. Something also really interesting, you can get bullet time from shooting these little guys if you want to activate it. You can also use your swords too if you want to do it that way. Past the spiders is a room with a couple of shotgun shells and the double barrel shotgun. Wait, have I not talked about the double barrel shotgun yet? The double barrel shotgun works exactly how you would think it would work. fires 2 shots and uses the same ammo as the pump shotgun. Duh. It's kind of hard to explain how I feel about this shotgun. It makes me feel, well, the best way to explain it or describe it, it gives me the same feelings I have when Ryan Gosling is shooting a guy with a pump shotgun, but times 2. Also, if you open this wall, you can get a health increase, but if you already got the one before, it just restores your health to the max. Also, with the double barrel shotgun and the shotgun shells, there's a side room with a unknown ammo type and a map, but I'll explain that later. But as soon as I try to leave, just a bunch of spiders and a couple of demons spawn to kill me, but I took care of them. I go back to the switch area to go on the left side to be greeted to what I can only describe as a big open pit in an underground castle. Really enjoy this part of the level, by the way. It gives the feel that everything is bigger than it should be, and I really like that in games. Also, a really cool torture room for the low price of $99. Actually, no, $666. You get it? You get it? It's the number. By the way, if you take this pill, you can get some ammo and raise your pistol ammo from 240 to 320. Anyway, so there's 3 places to go in the torture room. One leads downstairs, one has a lift, and the other just loops back around to the lift and torture room. I took the far left that leads down, hop onto this platform to get some ammo and some armor. I went further down the steps to find a cell room with a couple of demons waiting for me. Took care of them to grab some extra ammo and health. Only to be dropped into another torture room filled with more demons, including the big guy. I almost died in this room, but thankfully there was some health nearby. Also a tip, don't go over this red part of the floor, you'll take damage as you stand or even dash over it. I backtracked through the level to just get some health before I went further into the next room, finding my way to a big room that led to other areas. I opened the gate to the lift while getting some loot on the way. Going up a few more lifts to a bridge part of the castle that led me to a room that looks like a set for a death metal band filled with demons, torture machines, and a prison cell. And I'm not just talking about one prison cell, no, I'm talking about many prison cells here. Going up this ramp leads you to a room with a table and a bookcase. Shooting the face here will open a secret room with an unknown ammo type and a map that shows doors with X's. I'll explain my theory on what I think these maps mean. Also, you don't take fall damage, I think, unless maybe you fall into the pit, but I don't recommend that. Anyways, I head back down to the room just before the lift and explore a little further to find a room with a big pipe and a demon waiting for me. What's cool is that if you go up the ladder, you get into the tower-like structure you saw earlier, which you can open a door to take you back to the start. And it takes you to the first teleporter. They pretty much are like any other teleporters in a retro FPS. Taking it will spawn you in a room with a couple of demons and a spider. Also a door you can't open in this demo for some odd reason. Jump dashing or just normal jumping on these boxes will lead you to another teleporter that takes you to the last weapon in the demo, the revolver. This revolver is a real treat to have. Holds 6 shots, like most revolvers do, and 24 in total ammo. This is your best weapon for the big guys. It only takes 3 or 4 shots to kill one. Has a pretty good reload time for a revolver, though don't use it like the pistol where you shoot everything, only use it for the big guys. Highly recommend this. You can also get back by pressing this wall right here, by the way, in case you're stuck. Now let's talk about those maps and what I thought they were about. So when you reach the second map, you find it in the death metal band room, which has 2 sets of 4 cells on each side. And the maps have X's on doors, so I took this as you need to open the cells where the X's are. I did it on both sides and it did nothing. I did everything I could think of at the time. I'm sure it's to open something with the cages since you find the second map in the room. If anyone knows if this is in fact for the room or just something I don't know yet, let me know in the comments below. So after trying to figure out the cell puzzle, I go back to the room that connects to the lift area and go further to a room filled with demons and a very interesting platform. I remember the first times I tried the game, this is where I died the most. Now I had the revolver and feel like a badass when I killed the 2-bladed demon. Now who's scared, you fucking demon version of Planet Hulk, you fucking piece of shit? Anyways, I go down these stairs to be greeted to another big demon with shooters and 1-bladed demons with spiders. Like, how the hell was I supposed to pass this part without the revolver? Like, how? I even ran out of ammo at this point, so I had to use cover to pick my shots on the big demon, and my sword's just to kill the spiders. So I went over to the stairs to flip the switch to open the door, and then spiders started attacking me during the cutscene, so that's nice. Also, by the way, you can go into this hole to get the extra ammo you may have seen earlier. I head back over to a room where the door was. Inside is a big battle arena with ammo and a revolver just in case you were a madman and somehow went through everything without the revolver in the secret room. This is the only time a song comes in, so I'm just going to let the battle play out in its entirety. Also, yes, I did save. I didn't want to restart everything for the 50th time. Like, this is where I also died a lot, so... After the battle, you hop onto this lift to get to the Yellow Book. You now can head back to the death metal band. Hold on a second. I didn't notice this until now, but the lift actually tells you what book you need in advance. That's a nice touch right there. That's really good level design, you know, teaching the player and stuff like that. That's really good. So anyways, these fuckers spawn. After dealing with the last remaining demons, I head into this room, which has 3 ways to go. Left takes you to a locked door, right takes you to the candle area from earlier. In the middle, if you can't tell, the ceiling really wants you to go. I wasn't sure if I was going to run into another boss, so I saved before heading in and went into the unknown. And this is where the game really takes it up a notch. Like, you thought the Cyber Demon was hard? Well, this guy is like if you took blood and mixed it with Dark Souls, but actually hard. You step in the unknown, fearing for the game just ends. Playing Hulshult was really fun and enjoyable, and also talking to one of the devs on Twitter is always nice. Now, I'm not saying that Hulshult is perfect, but its concept and gameplay is really solid. They keep showing new things that they're adding on their Twitter if you would like to follow the journey of the game being made, and they also keep updating the game, so it shows that they really care. I enjoy the gameplay. I would like some more demons, but it's a demo, so I understand. The world of Hulshult is really nice and interesting to look at. Story doesn't really seem to be fully in there yet, which is why I didn't talk much about it. The only thing I really hope is more music for the game. I really like games that have good soundtracks to go with them, you know, like Doom or Dusk or Hotline Miami. You get the idea. Overall, I highly recommend anyone who likes retro FPS or wants to get into the genre try out this game. Like I said before, even retro FPS is having its own second wave of games. Hulshult is just one of them. There's also Wrath by Killpixel, which seems to be a callback to Quake. There's Ultra Kill, which I don't want to say is the Dark Souls of retro FPS, so I'll just say, like, it's a very hard game, and it got me so upset that I kept playing the demo until 3 a.m. It's fun. Protus kind of looks like if you took Doom 2016 and made it a retro. Parad is kind of like a video soon-ish. There's also Gloomwood, but that's more of a retro stealth game, but it's from New Blood, so you should buy it. And many, many more retro games out there. Post some below if you know any more. As retro FPS grows more and more each day, what happened to the games that started it all? Monolith, who made Blood, went to work on the Fear series and are now bound to the Mountains of Middle-earth games. Sadly, they can't make new Blood games, pun not intended, because the IP is now owned by Atari, but you can play a remastered version of the original on Steam. Raven Software, who made Heretic and Hexen, later worked on Star Wars games, X-Men games, also Quake 4, but no one really cares. Oh shit, they worked on Marvel Ultimate Alliance? God damn, that was an amazing game. What else did they make? Oh. Also, they worked on Wolfenstein 2009, which was the first try at trying to bring FPS of old into the modern time, which I heard mixed things about, and they also made Singularity, which is a great game, and you should play it right now. Sadly, now they make COD games, so rest in peace, Raven. 3D Realms has had a rough history, to say the least. If you want to know more behind the scenes during this time, you can watch Magnic Muscles or Civi 11's videos on Duke Nukem Forever. To put it in simple terms, they wanted to make the best Duke game, kept switching engines and running out of money, so they had to work with one of the worst, the worst companies ever made, Gearbox. So after that mess, 3D Realms had to sell rights to Shadow Warrior to Devolver Digital. Shadow Warrior 2013 was developed by Flying Wild Hog, and it did very well overall, actually, being the first glimpse of these old first-person shooters' future. After Wolfenstein 2009 was released, 2 months before id Software was bought by ZeniMax Media, who owns Bethesda, the newly founded Machine Games asked if they could make a Wolfenstein, and ZeniMax was like, yeah, whatever, we're gonna focus on the Skyrim stuff first, so, you know. Anyways, Wolfenstein 2014 got released, and it did amazingly well, giving hope to the future. Haven't played them. id Software was in a weird place after the time of Doom 3. They released many mobile games because John Carmack was like, my wife's phone games are boring as shit. I'm gonna make some fun ones. Okay, before people say in the comments, the wiki says that this happened in 2007 and all the other games were made before that, but still funny in my mind to think that he would say something like that. Meanwhile, John in 2007 was like, hey, so Doom 4, it's a thing. And later Rage, which is Mad Max in a video game, which, funny enough, it was going to be published by EA, but instead was published by Bethesda. The irony. Anyways, Doom 4 was in development hell for years. They had one that was going to be like Call of Duty, and everyone was like, this is boring as shit. So they changed it to Doom 2016, and it was a hit, refueling the flame that started in the 90s and was being carried by indie devs and major devs. The prayers were answered, and it looks like there's no stop to Doom's success. Still haven't played that, though sadly, there are many games of old that haven't made their return, most notably Blood, Duke, and our little Trent Ranger himself. Oh! Yeah, Quake Champions. Hopefully they'll make an actual Quake game that isn't just deathmatch. Point is, retro games used to be hard to find, and maybe there's still good ones that we don't know about yet. Now, thanks to games like Doom 2016 and Dusk, retro games are now more popular than ever. So if you see a game that fits this style you like and you want to support the dev, go ahead and buy that game. Who knows? Maybe you'll have a hell of a time. Yeah, it's not sitting well with me either. We should have cut that out. So a thing that I wanted to add at the end of this video is this video has taken me quite a while to do. After the West of Dead video, I was very much interested in doing another video like this. I wanted to make the script a little bit better, make somewhat of a shorter video. I do like my long videos, but I wanted to make it a little bit shorter for anyone who wanted to watch this kind of, you know. And I just hope that you guys really enjoy this video. It's taken me quite a while. Anyways, if you want to find other places to either support or follow T19's game Hulshult, you can go over to their Twitter to follow for updates, and you can wishlist their game on Steam so they know, hey, this is how many people who really want to play this game. Also, if you're free this weekend on September 5th and 6th, if I remember correctly, there is an event going on right now called Realms Deep. It's being hosted by 3D Realms and many other people like New Blood and I think Night Dive. I can't ever pronounce their name right. But a lot of cool games are being shown off there, like Hulshult, Herat, this other game that I've been seeing and hearing about that I haven't been really following, but I've seen little bits here and there. Cool people are also going to be there, like John Romero. I think American McGee is also going to be there, and Tim Willits, and a number of other people. John St. John, the voice of Duke, is going to be there. So, yeah, I highly recommend it if any of you really like this genre and want to check it out. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Whenever that will be, because, goddamn, this is giving me some stress. Alright, and that will hopefully be the last vocal take I have to do before